Hey guys, welcome to the SimRacingPaddock. I'm William Marsh, and we are going to test out what happens when you blow a tire in Assetto Corsa. So I've tested out other sim racing titles, worn out all the tires, and have gotten them to blow out, but I have never actually tested out this experiment in Assetto Corsa. So I decided I'm going to take this new VRC Formula North America 2012, aka the Dallara DW12, around their version of Texas Motor Speedway and see what happens when we wear out the tires all the way. The reason I decided to test this out on an oval is because of the way the car handles an oval. More force is applied to the right side of the car, meaning that you have constant wear on the right side of your tires. So in theory, within around 30 to 40 laps, I believe these tires are going to be shot, and we'll see what happens. So note that I do have tire wear set to 1-to-1 realism, so that is into effect. I also have mechanical damage set to 100. So basically, if the tires are going to blow, they're going to blow out with realistic driving. So let's put this to the test and see how this goes. Another thing I wanted to talk about is how Assetto Corsa functions as a oval racing simulator. And I gotta say, this is surprisingly well. With Assetto Corsa on the oval, you do get that realistic feeling of the tires being pushed into the track from the downforce. You have a decent idea of the feeling, and it all comes out pretty well. But it does expose some of Assetto Corsa's flaws though. Namely, there are no full course yellows, and there are no rolling starts in Assetto Corsa. That is a major detriment for oval racing, which generally does have full course yellows and rolling starts. And it's ideas like that that really hamper Assetto Corsa's prowess as an oval racing sim. But when it's all said and done, this is a pretty decent oval racing title in a similar way that, say, Project Cars 2 is. Because Project Cars 2 doesn't have full course yellows, I don't believe, but it does have rolling starts at least, and at the very least, you can have fun with friends. The AI isn't as good as I would like in terms of the oval racing experience, but they do race each other pretty hard. You will see them going 2, maybe even 3 wide, which is fun, but in the end, it feels like that this oval racing idea is best enjoyed with other humans. Then you could, in theory, do a league where you could instill full course yellows or something like that. Granted, it's not going to be supported in the Assetto Corsa software, but hey, it's alright. It works pretty well. So, now let's talk about this theory. So, I think one of two things are going to happen. One thing that could happen is just all grip goes away from the tire when it wears out. The other, and this is what I'm hoping happens, is that the tire legitimately blows out. So I was doing some testing in my live stream earlier, and I realized I had mechanical damage turned off. So when the tires would wear out and everything, it just meant that it wouldn't do anything. So I'm hoping with mechanical damage turned on, that would lead to actual tire fall off, tire wear, and then eventually a tire blowout. And it'll be interesting. I am intrigued to see what will wear out first. Will it be the right front or the right rear? If the right rear blows out first, then in theory, this car should whip out from under me and hit the wall. If the right front blows out, then I think it's just going to lose most of the steering and hit the wall. Either way, we should hit the wall. Okay, so we are coming up on lap 15. And you can see that our tires are starting to wear out a lot more. It looks like our temps are still looking good, but if you look at our tread remaining, or tire remaining, whatever you want to call it, on our right side, it looks like we have maybe about 65% remaining on each side. But interestingly enough, it looks like the tires on our right rear are starting to wear out a little more than on our right front. My theory is, as these tires are wearing out, starting to fall off, we are starting to see the car get a little looser. Because there's more strain maybe put on the right rear, and the car's starting to get a little looser, which actually might make it a little easier to turn in. Interestingly enough, we're seeing that we're not getting much fall off. This last lap, we were only 0.07 of a second off our best lap this entire run. So I don't know, it seems like by default, this car gets better over the long course of a run maybe. Or maybe not better, but it falls off less. So that's interesting to see, because I bet with other setups that you might be better over the short course of a run, and then over the long course the tires fall off more. But it seems like this car is pretty decent on a longer run. But we are definitely losing our tires. It looks like now our right rear tires at about the 50% remaining mark. So I'd say that around lap 35 to lap 36 is when we might actually get our tires blowing out. So let's go a little further and let's see, and let's check in at around lap 30. Okay, we did have a wreck or two while testing, but I restarted and we have finally finished 30 laps in this run. And it's interesting because that tire wear pattern I was talking about, the rear tire is continuing to wear faster than the right front. So the right front looks like it's at about 33 to 25-ish%. And it looks like my right rear has about 15% left. So unless something crazy happens, I think it's going to be my right rear tire that's going to blow out. And I am feeling a bit of a drop off now, but it's kind of surprising. It's only a few tenths, because I think this car is getting looser, it's getting a little freer, but that is still making the car pretty fast. So you can see still only about 0.2 fall off. So this car, these tires do work well, they don't fall off much, but it seems like they are wearing out fast. So I think it's just going to be a matter of a few laps before we get our answer to if this tire is going to blow out. And yeah, so odds are in a few laps we're going to just see this car whip out from under me, and I think that is how this tire is going to blow. But it's interesting because our temps for our right rear tires still look pretty good. Core temps at 112 degrees Celsius. Our right front is the one that's getting really abused, but it still has more tread. Core is at 126 degrees Celsius. And it just seems like it's getting used and abused more. But strangely enough, it is our right rear that's getting more wear. So interesting. I don't know if that's the most realistic, but hey, I'll take it. And yeah, so in a couple laps we are gonna see hopefully a tire blowing out. So we're at lap 35 right now. You can see the car is starting to wash out more. You're starting to see the car not be as willing to go to the bottom. I mean, sure, it will go to the bottom with some coercing, but you can see I'm a full lane, maybe close to 2 lanes above where we were before. So you can see there is legitimate fall off, and that is nice to see. That is nice to see for authenticity. So you can bring it down to the bottom, but you can feel the tires wearing out. You can feel that the car will wash up the track. So you have to be careful with that. You have to be careful with what the tires are doing. And over the course of a run, you'll likely need to adapt your racing line so you can control your tire wear. Because theoretically, if you moved your line higher up, you wouldn't have to steer as much, and that would mean you don't wear out as much. But our purpose for this is we are trying to get these tires to wear out. We're trying to get it to blow out, so that's why I am admittedly driving a little more aggressive than I normally would over the course of a run. So I think it's moment of truth. Are we going to get a tire blowout at lap 40 or even before? Because I was saying I think we were going to get our tire blowout lap 35 to lap 40, And it looks like we are at just about 0 tread. We are almost out of tire on our right rear. So yep, it does look like we have maybe like 5% or even less tread, and we're at lap 39, so we're going down. You can just see the car is not willing to go down to the bottom of the track. And we are basically at 0% right now. So let's see what happens in this corner. So far, so good. That's slightly unusual. Taking next corner. Not feeling anything wrong. I had to lift because I apexed a little too early, but not feeling anything wrong with the tire. Still nothing. So it's saying we legitimately have 0 tread right now. It's saying that our tires should be dead. But I'm not seeing any sign of that. I'm not feeling anything unusual with those tires. I'm not seeing anything resembling that the car is going to blow a tire. It just feels like there's a tire drop-off. So that's unusual. I think that's a little strange. We'll see what happens when our right front wears out, which would be in a lap or 2. But yeah, so far we're not seeing anything strange. And in our car, we have a fuel tank set to about 70 laps, so we could, in theory, go longer. But yeah, this is interesting. I wasn't really expecting nothing to happen. I mean, sure, we're getting the tire drop off. We're almost a second off the pace last lap. But at the same time, you'd expect to hit the wall with a blown tire. So I'm a little intrigued and a little disappointed, to be honest. I was expecting a tire blowout. So now we have about maybe like 1% tread on our right front tire. Our core temp is shooting up to now 140 degrees Celsius. But it's not blowing. Tire's not blowing out. So what the heck is going on with my tires? Saying 0% tread, but nothing's going on. So let's fast forward a bit and see how long this will last. Okay, so I just finished 51 laps on this set of tires. So in my live stream I did a 51 lap race, and that was when I noticed that I didn't have any mechanical damage on, so I had the theory that no mechanical damage would mean no tire blowouts. But now I have mechanical damage set to 100% and still nothing. And I'm utterly confused and slightly disappointed. Why haven't these tires blown? Why are they surviving this long? Because this is a good now 11 laps that we have driven on or so with 0 tread on these right side tires. So the thing is too, sure we are having a significant tire fall off, but still we're within a second of our times. And or maybe not within a second, but within like a second and a half. But yeah, right there I had to lift, but still we're likely going to be in the 26, 27 times. Yes, 26.5. That's 1.1 seconds off. And in this, with the way we've been driving, we should have been in the wall, destroyed our car. So I'm slightly disappointed right now. And I think we are going to run out of fuel before this tire should have blown. I mean, yeah, or before the tire's blown, which is crazy because that's doubled the run on these tires. And nothing. They're not blown or anything. So, yeah. I'm slightly disappointed. This is one of the only sims I've driven where you're basically incapable of blowing a tire. R-Factor 2 have it. Project Cars even has it. iRacing, you can blow a tire. Even NASCAR Racing 2003 and NASCAR Sim Racing, which are titles that are over a decade old, you could blow a tire. But I guess in Assetto Corsa, they found that it was irrelevant? I'm not sure. Hopefully in the next title, Assetto Corsa Competizione, you are able to blow a tire because, yeah, hopefully with the new engine they'd allow you to do that, but in this, Assetto Corsa, it's strange. So you're not able to blow a tire. Okay, so we are coming up on lap 69, and our left rear has now gone away. And now we're starting to see some pretty significant drop-off, but still, no tires blown out. We have less than 5 liters left in our gas tank, so we are legitimately going to complete a double tire run right now. In the tank, we had fuel that said it would last us approximately 70 laps, tires that would last us approximately 35 to 40. So we have basically successfully done a full tire run on dead tires. That's something wrong. That's something wrong with this picture. This is the only racing sim that I know of that would allow you to do this. And this is disappointing. It really is. Why would you be able to do a full fuel run on, or not full fuel run, but a full tire run, and maybe even a full fuel run if you choose not to change your tires, on dead tires? That just doesn't make any sense. It's upsetting, and it kind of dissects the way that you're supposed to handle things. So this is downright disappointing, and I wish this was better. I really wish it was, but realistically, it's life, and hopefully for Assetto Corsa Competizione they'll fix it. But what are your thoughts on this discovery? Do you think that I'm blowing this out of proportion, or do you think this is something that is important for racing sims that Assetto Corsa is just missing? Let us know in the comments. Also, if you like this video, please hit that like and subscribe button and help keep us on track. For the Sim Racing Paddock, I'm William Marsh, and let's run out this gas tank. There we go.